Cities are dangerous. The very culture of what gives a big city its identity is danger. But why? Is it gangs? Political corruption? Class division? No, it's the damn kids. Kids are evil. If you have ever been a kid before, you know the kids can have no morals and be some of the most evil people on earth. And what makes a city dangerous starts with the children. Let's talk about school rivalries. If you are in America, you are way too familiar and normalized with schools feuding. And if you go to the Wikipedia page, there's a complete article of all of the school rivalries worldwide, but it only covers the college version. If you look at every country, they have a neat list of about 10 to 20 school rivalries. And then you get to the United States of America, where they redirect you to another page where they have an entire article dedicated to school rivalries. Again, only college, based on division, region, everything. They even have an entire section dedicated to just school rivalries in Texas. But if you're from a big city, then you know that school rivalries actually start in elementary school. Let me tell you a story. When I was a kid, I went to a school that was 1 block away from another school. But for some reason, whenever we saw these kids, we would always fight. The older kids at our school told us, hey, those guys beat one of us up one year. Be careful when you see them. The older kids at their school said, hey, one of those guys beat us up one year. Whenever you walk home from school, make sure you watch out for them. Whether this was true or not, the pure suspicion instilled in your mind from childhood will make it so that whenever you see these other kids, it is a problem. And just based on how things go in the city, this eventually turned into gang violence. I have a friend. He went to the school across the street, and before he transferred, and even after he transferred to my school, he would still get chased and beat up by the same guys that chased and beat him up all the way coming up to 6th grade. So what did he do in response to this? He started hanging on another block with another group of kids. The kids that were beating him up over here turned into gang members. Some of the kids that he hung out with over there turned into gang members. And they all feuded with each other in elementary school based on most likely lies told to them by other children. And that's just one divide in the city. In a lot of big cities, you have people that have never even visited some parts of the city. Growing up on the south side of Chicago, I know a lot of people that have never even visited downtown before they turn 21. How the hell have you lived in this city your whole life and you've never taken the train north for any longer than 15 to 20 minutes? People can be fish out of water in their own city, and this leads to a culture of suspicion. There are those who witness crime and those who hear about it. But there's always a crime going on in some part of the city, no matter what. Those who witness it tend to be more informed and more comfortable in any part of the city. Those who only hear about it from their high-rise apartments, living in the more affluent parts of the city far from where the crime actually takes place, are generally less informed. Due to this, they tend to avoid all groups other than those within their own social and class bubble. That means that a lot of cities are not segregated based on race, it's based on class. It don't matter what color you are. If you're broke, stay over there. A kid that grew up downtown in Chicago might as well have lived in a different city than someone that grew up on the south side. The same thing with a guy that spent his entire life in Long Island contrasted with a guy that spent his entire life in the Bronx. And the size of these cities makes it a wonder that they aren't more dangerous than they already are. Take the Bronx, just one borough in New York. It's bigger than Atlanta and Miami combined, population-wise. The groups don't trust each other and they never will. The poor think that rich people are these evil vultures. And then the rich believe that poor people are these evil vultures.
Fuck poor people.
Cities can trap you in one area, like you're playing a video game, but you're stuck in one section until you complete a mission like Grand Theft Auto, which is to get $100,000 so that you can afford to live in another part of the city. And constantly seeing this huge gap in the class structure will make even the most content person try to be better than everyone around them. The difference in income between neighborhoods in the city can go from $30,000 in one neighborhood to $115,000 in another neighborhood. And seeing this, people in the poor areas can start to feel like they will never reach the type of financial stability it takes to live in another part of the city, while simultaneously seeing people get away with huge crimes. What I'm saying is, if you're constantly driving a Toyota past Lamborghinis and Bentleys, and then you hear about some guy that just robbed a jewelry store for $250,000, and you're 17 years old and you feel as though you have nothing to lose, the dangerous culture of the city might persuade you to do something bad. Everything about living in the city tells you that you need to be better than everyone else around you. It's considered dangerous to reach back and help someone. You're more likely to get robbed by somebody that you help in the city than someone you help in a small town. And by robbed, I don't mean you help them and they steal something out your house. But the one thing the class division does provide in each city is at least you know where to go if you want to have fun with your friends. You know where to go if you want to get the best food. And you know where not to go if you have money in your pocket.